those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested and personal picture of the supreme advancement is very troublesome. People who are attached to the impersonal picture of the Lord are obliged to take great trouble, and nevertheless they cannot understand the absolute truth, as explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 11. Unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original source of both Brahman and Paramatma, one is still in darkness about the absolute truth. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Dvaita Gadadhar, Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's a nice thing about the Caitanya Caritamrita. It really emphasises the personal picture of the absolute truth. Really hammers the point home that the Supreme Personality of God is a person. We were reading, the last time we go to class, we talked about the pastime Acharya. We began preaching the impersonal Jnana philosophy because he didn't like being respected by Lord Caitanya. He felt that he was a servant of Lord Caitanya. Lord Caitanya was treating Acharya as a senior. So he began to preach this impersonal philosophy to disturb the Lord's mind and get the Lord to chastise him. So Lord Caitanya, hearing challenging Acharya, what is supreme Jnana or Bhakti? And Acharya began to say that Jnana is past a very difficult process. Lord Caitanya began to use him. And then Acharya took ecstasy to finally being beaten and chastised by the Supreme Lord. So in this particular section here, it's being emphasised once again this importance that to understand absolute truth has to be done exclusively through bhakti. No other process, as is explained here, mystic yoga, austerities, philosophical speculation. These will not bring one to the absolute truth. And we can see that it was funny last time that when we talk to people about their understanding of the concept of God, generally it ends in some impersonal conception. I was explaining how I was speaking to some people that came into my house who were preaching a particular faith, and I was just questioning about their understanding of what God was. And tradition from another custom court. So that's one nice example there about how these austerities aren't pleasing to the Lord through the mood of upkeep, which the Lord is attracted to. So we can move on to another famous pastime that Torture came out of was this pastime of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a great Jnani. He was a great philosopher, say, is as radiant as the sun. One who tries to interpret its meaning simply covers the sunshine with cloud. All the Vedas and literature that strictly follows the Vedic principles explain that Supreme Brahman is the absolute truth, the greatest of all, and a feature of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person, Supreme Personality of Godhead, resplendent with all opulence. You are trying to explain him as impersonal and formless. Wherever there is an impersonal description in the Vedas, it is meant to establish that everything belonging to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental and free of mundane characteristics. Whenever Vedic mantras describe the Absolute Truth impersonally, in the end they prove that the Absolute Truth is a person. The Supreme Lord is understood in two features, impersonal and personal. If one considers the Supreme Personality of Godhead in both features, he can actually understand the Absolute Truth. He knows that the personal understanding is stronger because we can see that everything is full of variety. No one can see anything that is not full of variety. Everything in the cosmic manifestation emanates from the Absolute Truth, remains in the Absolute Truth, and after annihilation again enters the Absolute Truth. The personal features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are categorized in three cases, namely amblative, instrumental, and locative. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead wished to become many, he glanced over the material energy. Before the creation, there were no mundane eyes or mind. Therefore, the transcendental nature of the Absolute Truth's mind and eyes is confirmed. The word Brahman indicates the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Sri Krishna. That is the verdict of all Vedic literature. The confidential meaning of the Vedas is not easily understood by common men. Therefore, that meaning is supplemented by the words of the Puranas. So, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu preached to Dandakaranya. I think also he began to explain, was it the Aparandas as well? He began talking about the Aparandas, understanding that the Supreme Absolute Truth is personal. So after hearing this description by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and understanding that the Supreme isn't impersonal but personal, he actually surrendered to the Lord and realised that, yes, he had a misconception. And then Lord Caitanya began explaining that actually you're one of my associates. So he was using this as an example, like as Lord Caitanya does and Krishna does through their pastimes to teach a lesson or to set an example. So in this way he was showing philosophically, proving that the Absolute Truth is personal, and the personal conception is superior to the impersonal conception. So according to the Mayavadis and personalists, the impersonal is the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth is the supreme. And it's very common that thinking process, that Mayavad impersonalism has contaminated the whole world actually. In Prabhupada's sense, ruined the whole world with this Mayavad philosophy. So you can see with Prabhupada's preaching, he was very strongly preaching against this Mayavad personalism and also atheist wasn't established so we can argue and bicker and quarrel with one another. It was established so we can have these loving exchanges. That's always good to keep that in mind. That's what we're here to do. So, on that note, there's obviously another famous pastime in Christian Leela, jump between the Leelas, when the smarter brahmanas, the yogic brahmanas, were approached by cowboy boys to get some prashadam for Krishna and Balaram. Krishna warned them not careful, not devotees. So they approached these yogic brahmanas who were busy with their rituals and rules and regulations. And when they were requested prashadam, they said, "Lord, the cowboy boys." And they went back and told Krishna and said, "Go see the wives of the brahmanas." And the wives of the brahmanas were devotees, and as soon as they heard Krishna and Balaram hungry, immediately they offered this prashadam. So the yogic brahmanas actually realised their fault when they heard what had happened, and then began saying, "To hell with our rules and rituals, to hell with our knowledge, to hell with our learning," because they missed the point. The whole point of the Vedas, as Krishna says, is to understand them and approach it. That's what the Vedas are all about. Just like in Caitanya's time and Navadvip and throughout India, people have forgotten what the purpose of the Vedas actually were. They're caught up with these rules and regulations, who is demigods, so they get some material benedictions, which is missing the point of what the Vedas were about, which is to approach Krishna. This is the Bhagavad Gita several times, all the Vedas know what the purpose of it is. So Lord Caitanya is displaying this very clearly. And finally, we can wrap up. So no bhakti by drinking milk, as I said, no bhakti by personal speculation, and no bhakti by being smarter, getting smarter Brahman. You have to be a devotee. And finally, there's a nice quote here given by Sadhana Bhattacharya, obviously after he became Vaishnava. I can end on this, where he says a nice verse. We're not poets, we're not magicians, we're not philosophers who have crossed to the farther shores of the hunter. We're not eloquent debaters, we're servants of the rascal cowboy. So that was his final realization. Servants of the rascal cowboy. So I could stop as a chanting sacred Shada mantras. Anybody have anything they want to add before we finish? Everyone's hungry? Take prasadam, immediately go on prasadam. Move the sun with Bhattacharya. Do your rules and regulations. Take prasadam. You want to take prasadam?
Thank you for the class. You were mentioning about how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he honored the prasadam, so before he was attached to the rules and regulations, but afterwards he was attached to pleasing Krishna. And in Nectar of Instruction, you also mentioned there's that verse, Niyamagraha and Niyamagraha, so too much attached to rules and regulations and then not following the rules and regulations. So how would one find that balance? Is it time, place, circumstance?